Hey everyone, welcome to Two Car Pros. My name is Ryan and today I'm going to show you how to reset your maintenance screen for Mercedes-Benz. So these maintenance screens are quite a pain and they kind of elude you to think that something is, big maintenance item is going to happen, but 9 times out of 10 it is like an air filter change and an oil change and maybe look at the brakes. That's basically it. Definitely things you can handle at home. However, Mercedes, in their infinite wisdom, have decided to make it a little challenging to get rid of these, what are essentially oil life reset screens. I also want to bring up that there is a manual way to do this with buttons, and you hold them for a certain amount of time, and then you push the brake a couple of times. There's some sort of rhythm that you can do that allegedly can reset that, but here's the thing. I've already tried that on this car. It's a 2018 Mercedes GLA, and it did not work. So I call the dealership and ask them, what's the deal? And they said somewhere in 2018, late 2017 or so, that got, put out to pasture, so you can't do it without a scanner anymore. And I said, oh, that's neat. Can I bring this car by and have you reset the scanner? And they had the audacity to tell me that it was illegal. Not against company policy, but illegal. And I said, there's no way it's illegal. You're lying. And then their manager called me back and said, yeah, it's not illegal. They were mistaken. They were lying. It's not illegal for them to do it. It's against company policy, which I get. Mercedes doesn't want you working on their cars because they want as much money from you as possible. So what does that leave you with? Basically, that leaves you with buying your own high-end, or what I like to call fancy pants, a fancy pants scanner. This unit is an MK808 from Autel. I think the 908 is out now and will be better in every way because it's a newer version. And I know they're about $500, and I know that seems like a lot, but trust me on this one, that's like only 2 oil changes at Mercedes. Yeah, maybe even closer to like 1.5. So $500 up front at the beginning of working on your own vehicle. Over the course of its lifetime, I promise you it'll pay for itself. Heck, you could use it on your friends and neighbors' cars and charge them $20 a pop, and you'll make your money back in no time. And I'm not sponsored by Autel. I didn't get this unit for free. I bought it with my money from Amazon, link down below in the description. And the reason I recommend the higher end scanner, and I know there's a lot of people that say, oh, what about a more affordable unit? The problem with a more affordable unit is I do not know personally that will work. I have no idea, because I've bought lower end units that are, more budget friendly, and they say they do it. They say they reset maintenance lights, and then they don't. And that is incredibly frustrating. I don't want to put you guys through that. So I'm just giving you my experience with this scanner is wonderful, and it does reset those lights, and you don't have to take it to the dealer and get absolutely ripped off. So with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump in, resetting our maintenance screens for our 2018 Mercedes GLA. So I'm in the vehicle. I'm going to go ahead and push the start button. And then I'm going to push it again. My foot is not on the brake. I just want the ignition on. Go ahead and turn the HVAC off. And we see our message, and it says service A9 exceeded by 118 days. And I believe an A9 service is just an oil change. So this is something you could definitely do at home. Go ahead and do the oil change as I have already done on this vehicle, and then we can get started. And we're going to leave the car in this ignition on, engine off situation. So our gauges are still on. The ignition is on. We're going to come into the driver's footwell. And Mercedes always makes it a little interesting to find our OBD2 port, but it's right there, and you can see that it is labeled OBD. We can reach up there and just plunk down that cover, and then we can line up our connector so it'll interface with the car from our scanner. Make sure that is fully plugged in. So here's our scanner. We can see that it has power and is plugged into a vehicle. We can push the power button on the top of the unit. Maybe hold the power button on the top of the unit. There we go. Should get a boot screen. Okay, we can unlock the unit just like any Android device. It's going to start connecting to our car. That beep means it is connected. Also, do these kinds of services when the unit has plenty of charge. It'd be a real bummer for it to run out halfway through or something. So what we can do is click on service, because we just performed a service. And there you go, in the top left, oil reset, which is what we need. And then I like to just push this VIN button at the top to auto detect it, It should be smart enough to be able to discern the VIN and get it absolutely perfect. Otherwise, you'd have to go through these menus and find your exact make and model. I like using the VIN. It's much more precise. Might take a minute, though, for it to decode that information, but that's okay. There you go, got our VIN. Perfect. Push OK. That is all correct. Push yes again. It's going to start talking to the brain of the vehicle. I'm going to go ahead and select instrument cluster. I mean, there's only one option anyway, right? And it's really important not to unplug anything or turn the unit off or mess with it any kind of way. Just let the device work. Don't get impatient. Have some patience. It's going to take a few minutes. Trouble codes, light maintenance. So next thing we're going to do is push maintenance because we need to get into the maintenance side. So what we can do is click on reset the general maintenance because that's what we did. We did general maintenance. And sometimes the verbiage is a little bit different just because I feel like there's some translation barriers between who makes the scanner and who makes the car. So here we go. We can see what F1 will do, reset the general maintenance. So you can go up. There's our service code A9, which we saw inside of the car. So day until next service, -118. It's been a little while for this unit, and you can see that it is 1,000 miles over, in air quotes, over. I actually did the oil change. I've done several oil changes on this particular vehicle because it's a family member's vehicle, so I handle the oil change. So I don't do the oil when the car tells me to, I just do it every 8,000 miles regardless. And I believe the reset interval for this is 10,000 miles, but I don't like doing that. I like doing 8. But you can see that it keeps track of all this information. This scanner can read that, and it's really important. And we can see that F1 resets that. So what we can do is push F1 and give it some time. So we can see actuation status, kind of scroll, use your fingers, it says the general maintenance was reset. So we can push continue. Completed. Very good. So actually on this Mercedes in particular, it looks like it has 2 reset codes. So we've already tried resetting the general maintenance. It kind of gives us a little bit of an error screen. So I'm going to try a confirmation. Again, there is a little bit of a language barrier, and that's just something you're going to kind of have to work with between the manufacturer of the scanner and the manufacturer of the car. So you kind of have to read in between the lines a little bit. See, it had another service code, BF, so this one actually had 2, it seems. I'm going to push F1 again. Hopefully reset that. Remaining day after general release become actually no longer available. So we're going to continue. Hopefully that'll reset for us. Aha, there we go. Perfect. So there, right there. Days until next service date, 365. Distance remaining, 10,000. See, that's about how many miles they say these things can go. General maintenance has confirmed. So it looks like you have to do both of those. Reset and then confirm. Completed. Sweet. You know, I'm actually going to check again on confirmation just to make sure it reads exactly the same as it did before. There we go. Perfect. It's been reset. We can escape. So what we can do is push this button at the top. I want to disconnect. I want to exit from this successfully, so it exits our diagnostic program. That way the scanner and the car aren't really connected anymore. And then I'm just going to turn the unit itself off by holding the power button. I'm going to turn that bad boy down. So that way I'm ensured that it's completely turned off before I unplug it. Come back down to the driver's footwell, unplug our scanner, replace this cover. So it makes that nice clicking sound. So now I'm in the driver's seat. I've already pushed the ignition button once, so it's off. You can see that our gauges are off. There's no lights or anything. Now with my foot on the brake, I'm going to start the vehicle. Don't worry about that Mercedes Me Connect service thing. That just means that it's been plugged into the OBD2 port, which we had to do. So we can push back on the steering wheel button. And look at that. The maintenance thing is all gone. In fact, we can go ahead and turn the vehicle off. Open the door like we're getting out. Shut the door. And start the vehicle again. And look at that. No maintenance code left. Absolutely perfect. So that is how to reset your maintenance screens on a newer Mercedes-Benz. Probably from like 2017, that neighborhood, all the way to present. I'm sure use either the exact same system or super similar, and this scanner can handle those. So that was kind of interesting too. I didn't expect there to be 2 maintenance screens. Typically you're only going to see 1 and you clear that and you're good. Ours happened to have 2 basically stacked on top of each other, so the second I got rid of one, the other one came up and I had to reset that one as well. Typically that's not going to happen. That was a little bit of a curveball, but you get rid of them all the same. It's exactly the same procedure. I just had to do it twice and, you know, use one screen for one and one screen for the other. Just be as thorough as you can in resetting all of that, and you should be good to go. If you have any questions, please leave them down below in the comments. I do try to get to every comment I get. There's also a ton of other people that comment are super, super helpful. So, you know, having a conversation with them is usually worth it. I have an amazing community here on YouTube. Hopefully I've earned your subscription and you can join this community with me. And if this video has helped you at all, please consider giving it a like so it's shared to more people and helps even more people. Thank you so very much for watching. Please subscribe, and I'll see you next time.